All right, welcome back to the show. On today's episode, I'm going to take you through how to install a pocket door start to finish, including a soft close option. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is the box for the soft close, soft open option, and this is specific to the manufacturer of the actual door frame. So make sure you get the same manufacturer or they won't. They change them enough that they don't work. So this matches up to the door frame that I'm using, which is an A&F product. This is what's in the box right here. This is actually the piece that makes it soft close. This is the actuator, and then this is the hanger. If you're only going to do soft close, you will have to use one of the hangers also that came with your door frame. All right, so one other thing that you need to consider, if you want it to be both soft open and soft close, you have to buy 2 of these per door. And a very important note is, which I've learned the hard way, I decided on these I wanted to do both soft open and soft close, but this actuator has to be installed for soft open prior to drywall. So what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and mount my actual soft close roller and soft open, and then when I feel motivated, I'm going to cut a little hole in the drywall and mount this. But hopefully I can save you guys when you install your door frame. If you want soft open, you need to install this prior to drywall. All right, so we're gonna go through this from start to finish. In step 1, when you have these pocket doors, there's usually a little stopper in the back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my tape measure, go in there, put it up against the stop. It's just a little rubber thing that the door stops up against. And I wanna get this measurement. So it's roughly 31 3/4. And then I wanna measure my door, which is 31 3/4. So, since I'm going to be adding trim here, I want to make a piece to tack to the back side of the door that will bump it out the size of my trim. I'm using 5/8 inch thick trim, so I already went ahead and cut a piece, it's 4 foot long, about 1 inch wide, 5/8 inch thick. And what I'm gonna do, this is the side of the door that's going to go in. I am just going to tack this right here. And what that does is when I close the door, my door will sit flush with my trim when it's closed versus sitting in. It's super annoying if you don't do that and then your door goes in too far. If you have a wood frame pocket door, most likely it's going to come with these pre-installed. Just it helps with shipping. You got to pop those off. So that's all I'm going to do is just knock them off the hammer. They're on there pretty good. All right, so now we're going to mount these hangers on the top. The instructions for this specific one is 2 1/4 inches from the edge. So since I'm using soft open and soft close, I'm going to take one from each box and mount it 2 1/4 inches from each edge of the door. And all it is you center it and put it in with these 2 Phillips screws. So we got the hangers mounted on the door. We're going to mount the actuator. And this gets mounted 1 5/8 inches from the end of your track. So we're going to go ahead, it just gets sandwiched in the track. So you have to put it up in there and then kind of slide it in. And then as the door rolls over, this will actuate the soft close or soft open function. So we got 5/8 jam, so 1 5/8 inches from there. So that's where the end needs to be. 1 5/8 inches from the jam. All right, so I put that actuator in. I forgot to put the actual wheel assemblies in. So I'm gonna put one in so I can add soft open if I want to. But what I need to do is I need to slide this down and get it in the lock position, so when I do that someday, it's ready to go. Then you just tilt it, put your wheels in, and then it slides down. And then you want to roll this back and forth a little bit to make sure none of the track screws get in the way. I have had that happen before. It seems to be pretty good. So I got that one in. This one's going to go in the opposite way. Bring them right to the middle there. Now I can put this in. So then you just want to check to make sure it actuates, so as the door slides this way, it'll catch and let the door go closed nicely. Alright, so now we're going to put the door in place. I'm using these door studs. Not necessary, but it definitely makes life a lot easier. One, just to hold the door and to kind of get it into position. All right, this is the least fun part of this whole process, and that's sliding the door in. And you can see I'm a little high here. Hopefully I can get this low enough. Alright, there we go. Alright, now we gotta go to the other side and close the latches. This little mark on the door will be hidden. So now we gotta level the door. I mean, that's pretty close. I'm gonna zero in on the level. All right, so that concludes getting the door hung. Now it's all about putting all the trim in. So we finished up hanging the door. That's where we left off. This is a new day, new shirt. I have all my trims cut, so we're going to show you how we trim out this pocket door. So the first thing we cut and install, at least there's many different ways to do this. This is how I do it. These are 1 3/8. That might vary a little depending on your pocket door frame and your wall thickness. So I'm going to install these. I cut these to fit up here in this space right here. This is already level. You want to check that. If it's not level, you need to use shims to level that off. So I'm going to stick this up there. I have one for each side, and I'm just going to nail it up there with my trim nailer. So I flush it up. All right, so now that you have that up, you got to cut a piece of trim for the side your door is going to close to, which this is a 2x4 wall. So I cut these 4 and 5/8 just to give me a little play on both sides. And then these are 1 3/8 again. And so we'll put these up here first. And as I put it up, I'm going to shim it so it sits flush with the front of this door. I did plumb this door up, so all I have to do is attach it and then adjust it with shims if need be. So you can see I put the shim in there, and then if you come around here in the front, Justin, you can see that that is now perfectly flush. So I'll start here and I'll just work my way up to the top. To make sure I'm flush with that on the inside. A little bit thicker. And then you just have to keep adjusting this until you get... The problem is you can't stick these shims too far through or they will get into the door. So I just cut them with a utility knife if I need a thicker part of the shim. Here, show this if you can get this on the camera. This is what happens if you stick your shim too far through. Look right in here. So you guys can see that. That's why you got to break your shim off, because you don't want it to interfere with the door. So I'll break that off. And so I'll just kind of fit this in there. All right, so now that we have these over here fastened in, we're gonna do this side here. And I kind of just center this, get it close. And then I'm gonna shut the door and see how it sits up against there. So you can see it sits pretty good. So what I'll do is I'll start up here, fasten this, and then I'll just shim this so it's just perfectly tight against that door, and then you get a really nice finished look. So I'm gonna go ahead and nail the top, and then I'll work my way down. I'm gonna check it on the outside quick. How's that look? It's pretty good. And when I put these on here, I try to nail through the shim so when I cut them off, they don't move. And you just kind of got to use, I use usually 5 or 6 on each side. So So this side looks good, so I'll go to the outside, just double check that, shim it, and then we can cut all those off and actually trim the outside of the door. Good. All right, now I'll just cut them off. Oh, I didn't nail that one. Missed one. You don't want to use nails that are too long that are going to go in and scratch your door. So I use 1 3/4 inch, and that pretty much, you know, make sure I'm not going to hit the door. So got my 2 pieces cut on the side. We'll go ahead and install those, and then I'll measure for the top. What I'm doing is I'm looking for the slats. Every 16 inches there's a 1x4, so I'm making sure that I hit those on these outside nails. Already got that one right here. And then this side shouldn't matter. Now you'll see I had a nail. This is one reason to keep your hand away from your nailing, because that nail went in, it took the grain and came out here. So what I'll do is I'll just pull that out, and then we'll have to putty that with wood putty before we prime and paint. Just cut it off close as I can. Punch it in, and then I'll fill it with wood putty. All right guys, so that's a wrap on installing your pocket door and trimming it out. From here, you can go into whatever method it is that you want to finish off your door. I will lightly sand this just to make a nice finish, fill the nail holes, prime it, paint it, and then caulk anything that needs caulking. But that's a wrap. We will bring you another video on the handle set that we are going to install. It's a quick set one. We have 5 of those due, but we'll bring that in a separate video. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.